Our 20s and 30s are perhaps the most crucial years we have to put in place investments that can bring us passive income. Let's be real, life is so busy and sometimes you just want to have something that can bring in money without you having to do too much. And I'm the kind of person who is very open. I like to know what others are doing to create income. So I stumbled upon this really brilliant idea in Cameroon, a way in which people create income, and I just decided to share this with you guys.
Morning guys, so right now I'm on my way to go and meet the builder. We were supposed to meet at the petrol station. I am late. I'm not really a morning person, but yeah, let's go after I locate my watch.
Mr. Builder is not strange to this YouTube channel, and this time around I'm taking you guys behind the scenes into his world to see how he runs a public transport business, something that is actually doable by anyone if only you are focused and you have the income to invest. I followed him around for a period of 2 weeks to collect all the information you guys need to begin, so pay close attention because there's a lot of money to be made. So to further break this down, we are going to look at how much it's going to cost to buy a vehicle to put on the road, which documentation you need to license a vehicle to be on the road, what the process is like recruiting a driver, how much money you can expect to make per month on one vehicle, and finally the security process you can put in place, a GPS system to track your vehicle to make sure that everything is on point.
First thing you need to know is, number one, the kind of car that is suitable for public transport. Not every vehicle can, serve that purpose. A good car for a taxi could cost, let's say, from 2.5 million to 3 million francs.
Now, I did a poll earlier in the week to find out how you guys feel about investing, and a lot of you shared that you do not actually have money to invest. So do not stress. Later, as this video goes on, I'm going to share with you some tips on how you can put money together to invest.
What you need to know is that a diesel car gives more money than a petrol car because of the consumption. Petrol car, it consumes more than the diesel car. If a car is consuming more, you won't be able to make profit. A car, like I said, a car that has a smaller engine that will not consume so much, that will not consume a lot of fuel. Let me be specific: a 12 valve VVTi engine or a 16 valve VVTi engine. That's a smaller engine that does not consume a lot of fuel.
So we were actually on an errand to do something completely different, but one of the drivers called to say that I think the exhaust pipe of the car bursts. I don't really know these things, so we're now at the mechanic to actually check what the problem is. And I think that's one thing with this particular business, the fact that if you're managing the taxis, you have to always be on your toes because anything can come up. There are some issues that the drivers can sort out themselves. Other ones you will need to be there to make sure that the right thing is being done and that not too much money is being spent unnecessarily. So yeah.
Once a week, all the drivers come to the petrol station so that they can do what is called an oil change, and also so that he can check the various taxis to make sure that they are still in good working condition. And while the taxi was being checked, this happened. He just took the keys from one of the drivers and I did not understand why, so I actually followed him to find out what was going on.
So why were you angry?
The rules and regulations of the company, you don't give out a car to another driver without informing. Normally there are two drivers in the car. So if you are not driving, your colleague is not driving, and you want to give out the car to another driver, you need to be able to inform. If something happens, I should be able to know how to handle it. If I'm giving the car to different drivers without my notice, oftentimes they don't respect parking time. So if they saw me angry, I was insisting and trying to let him understand that he's supposed to respect parking time. So oftentimes I see him moving at night and he gets it 12 because parking time is 11. I see him at 12, 1 o'clock. And at that time, the extra money is working at that time. He won't give you, he puts it in his pocket. But when the car gets bad, you repair it. The documents you need to have is you have the insurance, you have the vignette, you have the visit technique, and you have now what we call the transport license. Take note of this. This is what makes it different from a private car, and all these documents are processed at the transport office. You need to be able to get directly into the office and talk with someone who works there directly, so that you don't get duped.
One of the joys following Builder around over the past 2 weeks was that I got to eat a lot. So if you see me gain weight on this channel, know that it is his fault. One thing I don't feel guilty about, and honestly most people don't feel guilty about in Cameroon, is spending money on food.
Mango season is upon us, and this year I am determined to overdo it. This is 500 francs, and 500 francs is a lot of money. But anyway, that's not going to stop me.
For the same 500 francs, we were able to get a plate of ndole and ripe plantain. So money can actually stretch you quite far in Cameroon.
We're about to go eat, and it's my favorite time. Woo! What are we going to eat? I don't know what we're going to eat today. You see me gain weight, it's because of him, oh. It's because of him.
Now, about raising funds. In Africa and in Cameroon in particular, we have something called Njangis, and it's called a stokvel in South Africa. And this is a group where people gather together to put money together as savings. I once came across a post by Nicollette Mashile, and she is a finance guru, and she was just encouraging people to start what is called a property stokvel. So in the same way, if you have 2 or 3 very trustworthy friends, you can start a group where you put money together to buy your first car. If you don't want to go for friends, what about family? If you have brothers and sisters, you can all decide to put one taxi on the road, and each person gets the equivalent of how much money they invested. And if you want to avoid friends and family altogether, you can go for a bank loan. Let's say you've been able to save 1 million francs and you want to get another 1 million francs. You can go to a bank and get a loan, or you can go to a Njangi or a stokvel group. They also give out loans.
In a nutshell, you need to get a good driver, and then you sign a legal contract with the driver that has parking time, start time and closing time, and make sure you insist on these aspects so that your car can last longer. When you have a car that drives, or 24 hours, it also, it won't last. You need to be able to respect parking time so that you don't keep spending money on changing tires, buying new parts, constant repairs. Normally, most drivers don't like salary. They like to work and pay themselves. So on a day like Saturday, they work, and whatever they have goes to them as their salary. And then Sunday, they work and then use part of the money to do oil change.
The beautiful thing about this business is that you don't have to be the one doing all the managing. You don't have to be the one following up the drivers. You can simply purchase a taxi and ask someone you trust to manage them on your behalf. You can reach out to me if you're interested in someone managing your taxi. This is a way in which you can literally invest and receive money every month, but you don't have to be the one on ground actually managing things.
Guys, presently at the garage, and I'm going to the spare part store, my spare part dealer, where I usually buy parts to get a new clutch disc for the car.
He has been in the car business for quite some time, so this industry is pretty much at the back of his hands. So a quick stop at the mechanic to get the spare parts, and as we were driving off, just ahead of us we saw one of the drivers, and he had the wrong wheel for the car. I'm sure this guy got into trouble the next day.
How did drive?
And then we spotted another one on a different road. It appeared that they were driving around the same area, so I guess the drivers have their routes they like using.
In regards to the tracking system, it's for security, like I said earlier, and even if you don't have a public transport vehicle, you can use it on your private car. So there's a company that is in charge of that. You go there, you buy it, they install it in your vehicle. If it's a public transport car, you need to install it yourself, which means that the driver is not supposed to know where it is in your car. Once you install it, it's directly connected to your mobile phone. It is connected to your mobile phone. So from there, you can know wherever the car is at any point in time. You can be able to see the speed the car is running, You can be able to see the mileage for that day. So it has all those details.
Now I know I have kept you guys waiting for long, but let's finally talk about the money. How much money can you actually make?
So Beulah is driving and I don't want to disturb too much, but from what I gathered, with petrol taxis that use petrol, you can make around about 200,000 francs per month because the driver gives you 10,000 francs per day. But because of the repairs and doing oil changes and so many different things, let's just say it can come down to 150,000 francs per month. And then with the cars that use diesel, the drivers can give between, let's say, 12 to 14,000 francs every single day, and that on average could be around 280,000 francs per month. But once again, because of repairs and all of that, you can just bring it down to, let's say, 250,000 francs. Am I correct? So we can say between 150,000 francs for petrol taxis and 250,000 francs for diesel taxis. But very important, something that I forgot, the taxi drivers actually get Saturday and Sundays off. Well, not really off, but those 2 days are their own days to make their own personal money. So they only give money to you from Monday to Friday, but Saturday and Sunday is their own day to function. Thank you for watching this video. Definitely like, subscribe, and if you have any questions that you want further clarification on,
You can get to me via my email, which is in the description box.
I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.